Oh. All right, welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Do Hard Things podcast. I'm Jay Teagues. I've got in studio the lovely, the wonderful, the IMCOM photographer of the year, Angie Bertrand. How you doing this morning?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
Good. It's very festive where you're at. Very purpley.
It is. That's for the Lions Guide.
No,
This
I
is
love
this
it.
I'm totally channeling the Lions Guide here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing this morning?
Woo. I'm tired. I'm beat up, Jay. I'm beat up. I'm tired, but I am accomplished. I'm feeling so accomplished and yeah, today's going to be a great day. Today's great.
Awesome. We're going to talk about what you did over the weekend to help you maybe feel so accomplished, right? The Tough Mudder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, today we're
Yeah.
going to get into why get out of your comfort zone. We talk about that quite a bit. I mean, that's a running theme of the Do Hard Things podcast is getting out of your comfort zone. Why is that so incredibly important? We're going to talk about your Tough Mudder. We just wrapped up the best sapper competition, so we just saw a bunch of people
Yeah,
out there
boy.
getting after it, being incredibly tough. Lacey and
Yeah.
I did the Molly's Miles over the weekend. We got some events coming up. We're kicking
Oh,
off
I
the
love
month
that
of
race. Yes.
yeah, we're kicking off the month of Murph. So, but before we get into all that today, just real quick, make sure you smash that subscribe button so you're notified of future episodes, and leave us a review. They go a long way to expanding the Do Hard Things Nation. And share it with a couple of your friends. If you know someone out there that could benefit from today's podcast, screenshot it, share it with a friend. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, go check out the YouTube channel, subscribe there. We're going to start uploading a lot more video content besides just this. I've been doing my daily grind like less than a minute, just like a motivational nugget. And those are getting a lot of hits and views. So if you want to go check that out, like they're over on YouTube. And I think Angie's dropping some videos. You got a video coming up too, right? With the Tough Mudder.
I Yeah, I do. But I shot it vertical for social media. I did not shoot it horizontal for YouTube. That's a big thing. That's a difference. So I don't know how it's going to look on YouTube. So I'm going to drop it
Oh,
on social media. So
well, good deal. So we'll be looking out for that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
this this episode sponsored by the Forge. What's the Forge? It's a high performance community that we lead. We feel that leadership solves most problems within your organization, family, and even yourself. And we empower everyday people to become world class leaders. And our mission is to help people have a network that they can lean on, frameworks to help them tackle the day to day, challenges to help you grow outside of your comfort zone, and that sense of accountability. We send out like weekly accountability journal prompts. We have 8 calls in the community. We got 4 high performance calls, and then a monthly book club led by Nadine, and it's growing. And if you're ready to level up, if this is for people that want to perform at the next level, to have that emotional support group that are focused on leveling up, and that's what it's all about. And if you're ready to do that, go to lionsguide.com, or you can reach out to me directly. We can get you, see if it's a good fit for you. We're also brought to you by Do Hard Things Apparel. If you go to dohardthingsnation.com, you get yourself some high speed merch. You can check out upcoming events that we have coming up. We're kicking off the month of Murph. There will be a shirt coming out on that one, but that kicks off today. It's a free workout leading up to the Murph, which is usually held on Memorial Day. It's grueling, but we want everyone to be a part of it. So go to dohardthingsnation.com/events. Just go to our things today. You see the events tab. We've also got the 9/11 run coming up in September, so check us out there. So, all right. Well, if you want something you've never had, you got to be willing to do something you've never done. That's by the famous Thomas
Say
Jefferson.
what?
Yeah,
Say
and
what?
Angie, didn't you did something yesterday, right? That talk to us about doing hard things and how you overcame your own fear and to
Yeah.
do something difficult.
Yes. Yeah. So last year, hey, look at that in the comments. Good morning, Jonathan from Atlanta. Um,
Morning.
Last year, sitting around having dinner with some friends, and they're like, "Hey, look, we're signing up for Tough Mudder. It's just a 5K." And in my running brain, um, I hear just a 5K, and I'm like, "Oh, that's my training run, right? I don't even want to go out and run for anything less than a 5K." But Tough Mudder includes obstacles, lots and lots of obstacles, and challenging yourself strength wise, right? And I didn't really know what a Tough Mudder was. I just knew I'd never wanted to do one. Like I've seen the Spartan races, I'm like, no, not my deal. Like I've never wanted to do it. But anyway, they FOMO'd me into it. They're like, come on, it's in April. We'll do it for your birthday. Stephanie's like, yeah, it's my birthday month too. We're all gonna do it. Bree's like, yeah, let's do this. And Brent and Tasha just hyping it up. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I committed, right? Like I committed right there. Okay, fine. I'll do it. I'll do it. So I signed up, and then I'd forgotten about it because I didn't really want to do it. I mean, you get caught up in the moment with your friends. You're like, okay, I'm going to go do this hard thing. And then, I just completely 100,000,000% forgot about it. Even though it was on every calendar in my planner, I would see it here and there and I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. But I had surgery on my hand in January. And since then, I have not been dedicating myself to strength training like I should. And I always joke that I've got the upper body strength of a wet noodle, but I mean, it really, like, that's kind of how I feel, right? And so, it's getting closer, and we start talking about the Tough Mudder, and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to do this. I mean, literally, I'm telling her, I'm like, babe, I don't even know why I signed up for it. I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to do any of the obstacles. I'm looking at the videos of the obstacles, and I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to scale a slanted wall the opposite direction. Like, there's just no freaking way. Like, what is the point of me even going? Because I'm not going to be able to do it. So in my mind, I'd really just mind my we don't want to curse because what this is LinkedIn, right? But really,
mine. It starts with an
yes.
F.
But I'd really just gotten in this negative headspace, which is something that I don't normally do. I'm really good about not doing that. So I got in this super negative headspace, and I'm like, there's just no effing way I'm going to be able to do this. Like, screw this. I'm. And so we were having dinner a few weeks ago, and Brent was like, well, Tasha, she's not going to do it, and I'm not going to do it. And Bree's like, all right, Angie, let's do it. And I'm like, no, screw that. If it's just me and you, like, there's no, like, hell no, I'm not doing it. I mean, I would have done it, but I was just like, no, I'm not. If everybody's not doing it, I'm not freaking, like, that was my out, right? I was like, thank you, little baby
Got a
Jesus.
way out of this thing.
This is my out. And then Brent's like, Brent starts this message chat. He's like, nope, we're in, we're doing it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to die. And I'm kidding you, like, the whole way there I was cut. Like, in my video, I'm like, I don't even know if we're still friends because I can't believe they talked me into this. I mean, I was so scared. So then we show up, and I'm like, on the way there, he knows me, and he goes, you're going to do it. You're going to kill it. You're going to sign up next year. And I'm like, there's no freaking way, babe. No way. So we get there, and there's music, and there are people, and I start seeing people that I'm like, oh, hey, okay, these people, the media centric, so the non-athletic type, where the media puts out as an athletic, because I expected this to be like a Spartan, like super fit, like I don't even belong here type of deal, right? I don't see myself as a fit person. I'm a fit person, but I don't see myself that way, right? So I show up, and I'm like, oh wait, there's a bunch of normal people here. Like, these are everyday average people, and they're gonna go. Okay, all right. So I started feeling a little bit better. I'm like, so all ages, all shapes and sizes. I'm like, okay, I start feeling a little bit better. I'm like, okay, well, if these people are brave enough, I need to get my shit together and, like, be brave enough too. And we're walking around, and they put us in this corral, and we have to sit down, and we get this motivational speech by this guy. Oh man, I meant to have his name ready. Best motivational speech ever. And he's talking about this as a community, and we're not here for ourselves necessarily. We're here for ourselves. But if you see somebody struggling, by God, you're here to help them, right? You stop, and if you see somebody who's staring fear in the face, you give them an encouraging word, or you help them out, or you give them that push, literal push they need, or pull. You grab their hand and you pull them up, and you help them overcome this obstacle, because you don't know what they're facing in their life. You don't know what brought them there. And it was just so endearing and heart touching. I'm like, okay, this isn't about what you can and can't do. And then he really, really hit home. If you are unable to do an obstacle, just try it. But if you're unable to do it for medical reasons or what have you, it's okay to walk around. Like there's no shame in that. There's just try, push yourself and try. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. Whew, I feel better. And off we went. And it was the best thing. Like every obstacle we went to, people were pushing, people literally putting their hands up under your legs, your feet, your butts, and pushing you and grabbing your hands and pulling you, and people you don't know, everybody just helping everybody out, getting across the finish line. There were two obstacles that I tried, but I didn't complete. One of them, Brie and I, we had to teamwork it across, and my hand slipped and I fell backwards and fell flat on my back. I'm like, okay, gave that one a try. We're gonna keep going. And the last one was the electrical shock therapy. And I stepped in the water, and you have to step in front of a some type of rope or something. And we were discussing how we were gonna get through this, and then I got shocked twice, and I'm like, boom, I'm out. Like I got the shock. I don't have to run through it. I'm good. And you can see me step out and walk right around it. Rudy's like, babe, what are you doing? I'm like, no, bro, I got it twice. I'm good. I'm good. So next year I'll run through it. This year I was good with the shocks. So, but yeah, it was amazing, amazing experience. And it was like after that first obstacle and then after the second obstacle, and once you start completing these and you start working together and seeing how it goes, it's just like, we just got pumped up and we were like, okay, we're doing this next year. Like, this is the best thing ever. Tasha, she's scared of heights. And we had to climb up and over like I don't know, 75 foot, 40 foot, I think it was 40 foot. I don't know, a really tall rope wall it's like a V, it's like a big triangle. And you have to go and you climb up and you climb back down. She did it, and it was just insane, insane. So we all faced our fears. We all came out alive, a little scratched up, bruised, maybe, but we didn't have bruised egos because we did it, and we felt better on the other side. And that's the only thing I ever went in. That's the only thing I've went into super unprepared. And thank God. Hey, I wouldn't recommend that to anybody. Always prepare, right? Always get out there and train. But thank God that I was able to get through it and get past it. And now here I am, and I'm like, okay. Brent said last night, he was like, well, I think I want to do a 10K next year. I'm like, okay, sign me up.
No, that's awesome. Did you have to do anything where you faced some claustrophobia? Like I remember when I did it, you had to be in a water obstacle, and they had a chain link fence, and you had to like pull your face was like right next to the chain link, and you had to basically kind of go underwater. That's one between that and the. I'm not a fan of heights, so jumping off the platform into the water was always tough for me. But the claustrophobia one.
That chain link one is either on the 10K or the 15K. So I know some friends that did the 15K and they did that one. For me, my biggest fear was the ones that you needed upper body strength to get over the wall. Like I don't have a fear of heights. So that wasn't a big thing. The worst obstacle was the ice water one because you jump in the ice water, and I don't mind ice water, but you have to completely submerge yourself. And there's this plank that's underwater by probably, a good foot that you have to go under and come back up. And you've got to go under the water 3 times. And thank God people were there screaming like, go, 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 you got this. Because if not, it's like, I'm like, I can't breathe. And I was like almost hyperventilating because I was so cold, but I'm like, I got to get through this, And I just remember one thing they kept yelling, which was great. I don't know what made them yell this. Your friend is there and your friend is looking out for you. Your friend has your back. And I'm like, okay, one of my friends, like in my mind, it was literal, like, oh my God, okay, they'll save me if I drown. So, oh my God, here I go.
But no, it was great. Yeah, and I think you speak to a lot of the challenges. I mean, it's more you were worried about physically not able to do some things, but it sounds like from everything, it's more like mental. Everything was a mental barrier and a block, and that's I don't know. Your mind it feels like sometimes you got a megaphone just screaming back at you. Like your mind is a terrorist sometimes. It will terrorize you and that fear is just so inflated and it almost paralyzes you.
Yeah. Well, and you can think something and your brain doesn't know the difference between thought and reality.
Hmm.
Like when you look at it, your brain doesn't know when you're thinking these thoughts, is this real or is this imagined? And so you can shift your whole perspective. I mean, I went through this in the last few months from not training as hard as I normally do, from not being in a good training rhythm and putting health and wellness first, because I've slacked in that ever since I had surgery on my hand. I mean, I've just not, I got really, really, really busy and I didn't put that in the forefront. And in my brain, when I would look at myself in the mirror, I would see myself as more out of shape than I am, right? But that's from those thoughts changing that perception of how I see myself. And then one day I realized what I was doing. I'm like, snap the F out of this. What are you doing? Like, what is wrong with you? Snap out of it. And once I got really tough with myself and had that conversation, that honest conversation, then I was able to see myself through the lens of reality. When before I was just seeing myself through that lens of really negative perception, like, oh my God, you're so out of shape. You've let yourself go. Your body composition's changed. You don't look the same. No, I don't look the same as I did last year because it's been a whole year and there's been a lot of life changes.
Hmm.
But also, I'm not at this weird, inflated, horrible thing that I've tricked my mind into seeing. It's just really crazy what you can trick yourself into seeing if you let yourself get into that. And you really just you gotta pull those reins in, you gotta stop it, and then you gotta, just kind of have that come to Jesus moment with yourself.
Absolutely. And I think we need, I've been reading a book called the Comfort Crisis, and it talks about, it's talking about really the case for, a lot of the issues that we're having in our society with mental health issues and things like that are really due to the fact that biologically as humans, we're designed to be hunters and gatherers and out doing hard things each and every day just to survive. And now we're living in this time of like there's just so many creature comforts available to all of us. And the comfort crisis is because we've become so comfortable and so adverse to facing pain, but it's not good for us. And the way the brain is wired biologically is to uh, avoid things, avoid pain for a survival mechanism. But it's counterintuitive because it's doing those difficult things that make us better. It help obviously there's a lot of physical benefits to do getting out and doing hard things and the physical aspect of it, but it's also good for our mindset and facing fear and giving ourselves, building our character and building our confidence so we can take on more. And that's why I think that it's important for all of us, especially in this time where everything is so comfortable. We need to enjoy the creature comforts of life for sure, but we need to
Hmm.
find a way to also put ourselves in moments of discomfort because it gives you gratitude for what you have and it just makes you better and makes you more resilient for when life comes in and wants to kick your ass, because it will. Doing
Hmm.
things like Tough Mudder, you've leveled up, you've leveled up and it's given you a sense of confidence. So when something else, another hardship comes into your life, like a death in the family or some type of maybe a financial trouble or some other natural disaster, right? Heaven forbid any of these things happen. But that's the human dynamic. That's life. It's something is going to happen. It gives you strength. It's like being Super
Yeah.
Mario and you get the little mushroom.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? I could freaking deal with this shit, right? Because I've done Tough
Yeah.
Mudder.
Yeah.
I've done this. I've done Ragnar.
Yeah.
I've suffered and I sucked and I can do this. And that's why it's so incredibly to do hard things in a controlled environment. And it's also when we do things like that, it also helps us with our long-term memory. And there's some neuroscience behind it. But the bottom line is like yesterday's event, you will remember that experience that you've had with Bree and Brent and Anastasia, for probably the rest of your life because you went
Oh
through a
yeah.
significant event. And that helps us with long-term memory, which also helps us during times of struggle and crisis, because that's why you can remember these things because they were meaningful
Yeah.
moments versus just
Yep.
another weekend of laying around Netflix and chilling with a bottle of wine, which is forgettable.
Yeah. And you talk about the brain, that also gives you that perception to bounce back on, to pull from
Mhm.
when you get in, because we're not perfect, right? We have our ebbs and our flows, and we can get into a negative headspace. It's just important that we know how to pull ourselves out. And so now, anytime you do a hard thing, you step out of your comfort zone and you complete a task, a, a, a challenge, whatever it may be, something really, really, really hard out of your comfort zone, you can pull from that. So when you get in that negative headspace, now if I start, when the next time I get into a negative headspace, because I'm human, it's going to happen, right? But I can pull back on that and shift that perception back to where it needs to be. Like, no, you did this, you did that, you are capable of this, your body can do this, your brain can do, like, you are strong enough to do it. And then I can shift that reality back and, like, okay, this is the truth, this is what it is, I'm badass, let's do it, let's just move forward, let's keep going. And I think everybody needs those experiences to lean into and to fall back on, and to put them back to where they need to be, to center them.
Yeah. There's always, I mean, for as long as I've been doing events, even like this weekend, just to, I did a 5K with Lacey. It was like leading up to it. I was like, there's just like a little bit of dread and trepidation. Although then you get there, it's like, okay, then it's like the music's playing, you get a bunch of people out there, but even toeing the start line, you're like, here we go again, and then you go, and then you feel it for a couple minutes. The pain is coming, the discomfort. Then it kind of, you settle into it. You start to settle in, like, okay, we're in our familiar place again. All right, let's push ourselves, right? But there's always a sense of resistance, because there's just a natural resistance to the pain. We want to avoid pain. But then once you do it and you cross the finish line, you get the medal. It's like, man, this is freaking awesome. I can't wait to sign up again, right? And do it again. And then you're going to have the whole cycle again. The next event's going to come. There's always going to be a little bit of intrepidation every single time for me.
Yeah.
I think it happens to most people. But it's meaningful moments. And I just feel like every time I go through that, I just level up a little bit more, and it makes me more confident.
Yeah, for sure. And, not even that, even so, when you do group events, being able to watch other people crush their goals as well is just incredibly satisfying, for lack of a better word. I mean, it just makes you feel so good when you can look over and you see that next person who may not have leveled up to your level yet, but they're trying to get there, and they're facing whatever is fearful to them. Just watching them and how it's affecting them to be able to do it, it's just, it's great. It's great all around.
Yeah, when I was timing races and putting on our race, like my favorite part, I always love seeing the elite athletes coming in, right? Because they're always impressive. Like we had a 5K runner over the weekend, ran a 17. I mean, it's awesome to see. But my favorite is watching the last people come in, because oftentimes it might be their very first 5K, or there's some type of, maybe they're overcoming a health issue. I mean, what was it? The Frog Hill 5K last year, Daniel Barnes, former Do Hard Things Weekly spotlight, he didn't have any legs. It took him like 3 hours, and in the night with headlights, on the finish line, he came in. That was tremendously inspiring. And so to your point, Angie, it's like we also get intimidated by doing these events, but when you get out there, you see everyday people just out there getting after it. And those are if you're listening to this and you're just one of those people like, I want to do Tough Mudder, but I just think they're elite athletes and I can't do it. No, go out there, because what you're going to find in the fitness community is people cheering each other on. And it's important to find opportunities to do that.
Oh yeah. The Tough Mudder community is just, I really loved, Jenny and I were talking about this last night. There's so many different communities. There's, it's like I started running and there was the running community, and then I started running distance. So then there's the ultra running community, same sport, two different type of mindset and people. And then I found the Ragnar community, and now I've found the Tough Mudder community. And if you're afraid to get in these communities because you're afraid of being judged, you're fearful of what you can't do, you're fearful of how people are going to see you, that is all in your head. I promise you, it's all in your head. It's how you see yourself. You're coming from a place of how you view yourself, and so you assume other people are going to view you that way. Give people a chance, because I'm telling you, the Tough Mudder community is an amazing community, and it's a community of people of all abilities, all ages, all shapes, all sizes. You're not going to get out there and feel like you are the least fit, the most out of shape, and the least capable. I promise you're going to get out there and be like, oh my God, these are my people. We're all here. We're all community. When I tell you that the Mudderhorn was the second to last thing, and we had to scale a wall to get up to the rope wall. And there were people that would stop, and these were the people that are the fittest, the most muscular men and women, right? And they would stop and turn around, and they would say, okay, here, and they would help pull you up. Regular people would stop and turn around, hey, step on my thighs, here, step up, and help push you up. So there was zero judgment at all, period, point blank. Yes, you get muddy, you get gross, you get dirty. That's all part of the fun. But you definitely got to try Tough Mudder. Definitely, definitely, definitely. You should put it on your checklist. Punch fear in the face and just do it.
Absolutely, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you training for now? Now that the Tough Mudder's over.
I am training for Ragnar in June.
Ragnar's coming up, yeah.
Yeah, so this will be my 4th Ragnar. And what is scary about this Ragnar is that it's in Colorado at 8,000 plus foot elevation. So that is what is scary to me. The running is not scary. I love the camaraderie. I love the travel. I love the camping part with everybody. I'm a little scared of bears. They talk about having our food in bear safe containers. That's a little worrisome because I've never had to deal with bears, but just training for that elevation is what is in the back of my brain right now. So one of my friends, she ordered a training elevation mask, and I got it in last week, and so I'm going to start training with that because I want to be prepared. I don't want to show up and get sick and not be able to participate. So yeah. Jay, you're going to be there, so you're training for that too.
Yeah, I'm going to be there for sure.
Yeah.
No, looking forward to it. Got that coming up, and then Murph is coming up on Memorial Day, and we're kicking off the Do Hard Things Nation is kicking off the month of Murph. And, so once again, a lot of people, it's an event like Tough Mudder. Oh my gosh, I don't think I can do that. When you look at the Murph is, it's a 1 mile run followed by 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 squats, followed by a 1 mile run in a weighted vest. So that workout, I mean, it's typically found in the CrossFit Games. I mean, it's a hard workout that's going to test your mettle and your grit. And oftentimes people do it every year and they haven't trained up for it. So this year we're offering a train up, and there's already been people like, oh, I'd love to do that, but I can't even do a pull up, right? I'm scared of my upper body strength. I can't do it. Once again, I have a shoulder injury that debilitates my ability to pull up. So I've got to modify, right? So you modify with something else. But it's an opportunity to really push yourself to, when you have an opportunity and you're fearful, like I don't have upper body strength. Well, it's an opportunity to train your upper body strength, right? And you can do that for modification, and no one's going to judge you. And so I just, once again, it's an opportunity to push yourself to be a part of. This has become like a global annual thing to honor Michael Murphy, and so that's out there for you. If you're listening to this, you want to push yourself, and you're like, and if you're thinking, I can't do a pull up, that's not an excuse. That punch fear in the face. Get out there, figure out ways to modify. We got some modifiers for you, and get out there and do it. Get out there and do it. See, and that's how you level up every time.
Yep.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna say the first time I did Murph, we break it down. So it's not like you're doing the mile and then you're doing all the push-ups, all the sit-ups, all the things, and then another mile. Like it gets broken down into smaller chunks. And so before you know it, it's done.
Yeah, you break it up. You're not doing 100 pull-ups back to back and then you do the push-ups.
Right.
You break it up.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Throw your ring in the hat and give it a try. Do the train up and be a part of it. It's gonna be awesome. So more to follow. We'll have a Murph shirt as well this year. All right. We are coming up on a half hour here, so let's go ahead and transition to the best part of the show, which is honoring the Do Hard Things Weekly Spotlight winner. This is Kelly Shores, and Kelly is an endurance athlete. She's a CrossFit Kids coach. She's a bonus mom, a wife, an avid antique collector. She lives in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and really started focusing on her health in 2016. And her fitness journey started with a coupon to her local gym, and then she was further motivated by an individual that told her that she'd never be able to complete a Spartan race. And she signed up that very day. So here was someone that wasn't very active. Someone said she couldn't do it. Guess what? She did it. And over the last 7 years, she's completed 5 Spartan ultra races that are 50K with 70 obstacles, in addition to 22 other Spartan obstacle races. And she's recently taken on the Spartan Peak races death race. And she's attempted a couple times. and she's going for another one this year, this summer. And so her goal is to complete 5 death races before she retires, and then she's going to take on the Barkley Marathons. She was nominated by James Roberson, who's a former podcast guest and part of the Forge community, who is founder of the 516 Project. And what Kelly is doing is she's doing a fundraiser. She's trying to raise $5,000 for the 516 Project, and she's doing a workout this month, a 24-hour nonstop workout to raise money for the 516 Project. So if you go to 516project.org, you can support Kelly. You can support this amazing community. What James and the 516 Project does, they're a Christian-based organization, nonprofit, that they help build, like, when someone in your community is elderly and they can't use the stairs, they build ramps. They'll come in and build replace a toilet or a running sink, but they also do disaster response. And James is oftentimes, I mean, just recently he was out in Tennessee with his team down there doing, a reconstruction after a tornado. So the organization is fantastic. Kelly's doing a fundraiser. I love this photo here. I may die, and then it shows her. I didn't die, but did you die? And
I did not, in fact, die.
And she's ready for more. So, just surround yourself with awesome people like this. Hopefully this serves as an inspiration to others. Here she was in 2016. Didn't really go to the gym. She got a coupon to the gym. Someone said she couldn't do it. You know what? F that. I'm going to go do it. And here she is. Now she's an endurance athlete and getting after it. So,
yeah.
And it's just really inspiring, right? Anyone can do this. And I love that she's doing this for a great cause and supporting a great organization. So 516.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, all my friends from Panama City, Florida, the 516 Project is there, and they do a lot of work there.
And they're looking to expand. James's goal is to expand, one chapter in every state. And so they're looking to grow. So check them out. Go support them. Go support Kelly. Kelly, we appreciate you. We're going to send you a Do Hard Things Nation shirt. Thank you for being an ambassador and a leader in your community and all the things that you do. And yeah, it's just it's awesome. So best of luck.
Great job, Kelly.
Yeah. So all right. Well, that's it. It's time to go.
That's it.
Time to go crush this Monday. So if you're ready to level up, you want some more support, go to dohardthingsnation.com and go grab yourself some gear, some merch. Check out the YouTube channel. Check out upcoming events. We hope to see you. And we're just getting started here. We're going to start ramping up and doing a lot more stuff. If you're not part of the newsletter, go to dohardthingsnation.com. Sign up for the newsletter. And that's it.
Do something that makes you smile. Do something that makes somebody else smile. It's Monday. There's nothing. I mean, if you do nothing else, just smile. Drink some good coffee. That should put a smile in your soul. I'm going to go make my coffee and get out the door now.
I got my coffee, getting ready to head to the gym. I love your shirt that says smile.
Yeah. Hey, you can get one of these too. They're there.
They're there. dohardthingsnation.com. That's it. Go crush the day. Crush the week.